In the 1980s, Janet and I attended Cambridge Christian Center, a small Pentecostal Assembly of God church, where a lot of local Boston and Cambridge students, law students, MIT, lots of musicians attended. It was an exciting time for us. And one of the folks who was involved with music along with me was Brian Stevenson, the well-known civil rights lawyer. And Brian was a wonderful gospel singer and piano player. So one day I showed up at church, said, "Hey Brian, could you put this poem to music for today's service?" He said, "Michael, church starts in 15 minutes. What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, please." So he starts, and in 3 or 4 minutes he had a lovely melody to go with it. The scripture that day was Jesus' call. "Come to me, all you who labor and heavy laden. I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Learn of me. I'm gentle and lowly of heart. You will find rest for your souls." And it struck me that we often don't find Christ's rest, Christ's peace, Christ's gentle spirit, because our image of God and of Christ prohibits us, keeps us from that. And so I said, "Is your image of God too small? Does his love for you mean little at all? Well, there is a remedy, his blood shed upon the tree. Don't let your image of God be too small. Is your image of God unclear? His face so distant, his voice so hard to hear? There's good news I have to tell. He is our God Emmanuel, God with us. Don't let your image of God be unclear. Is your image of God too stern, his tender mercies and loving kindness difficult to earn? He healed the sick and raised the dead. With 5 loaves, 5,000 fed. Don't let your image of God be too stern. Is your image of God too small? Does his love for you mean little or nothing at all? Well, there is a remedy, his blood shed upon the tree. Don't let your image of God be too small. And that's my story of writing a song with Brian Stevenson.